there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tea Time with Tuskeh. It's Monday, the 26th of September, so sit back, relax with a cup of tea, and let's chat WoW news, content, and discussion. Today in the news. So, it's coming. The big tuning tweaks are on their way. Tomorrow, almost every class and specialization is going to see some tweaks. So, instead of just talking about things in general, let's quickly go over all of them without taking an hour to discuss everything. So it'll be nice, short, quick, and hopefully helpful. Here we go. Frost Death Knights will be buffed. Havoc Demon Hunters will be nerfed. Vengeance Demon Hunters will lose some physical damage reduction. Balance Druids will be buffed. Arcane and Frost Mages will be buffed. Beast Mastery and Survival Hunters will see buffs, and Barrage will be nerfed. Mistweaver Monks will see damage nerfs through Spinning Crane Kick. Retribution Paladins will be buffed. Holy Priests will see damage nerfs through Holy Nova. Shadow will see buffs to Mindseer, but nerfs to Void Form, Dispersion, and Mass Hysteria. Assassination Rogues will be buffed. Outlaw Rogues will be very slightly nerfed through artifact traits. Subtlety Rogues will be buffed. Elemental Shaman will be buffed. Enhancement Shaman will see a bug fix that shouldn't be either a nerf or a buff. Restoration Shaman will see a damage buff to Chain Lightning. All three Warlock specializations will see buffs. Arms Warriors will be nerfed. Fury Warriors will be buffed. And finally, Protection Warriors will see nerfs to their Rage generation. In PvP, the changes will be as follows. Blood Death Knights will be buffed. Havoc and Vengeance Demon Hunters will be buffed. Restoration Druids will see buffs to Life Bloom and their haste, but a nerf to their critical strike. Guardian Druids will be buffed. Survival Hunters will be buffed. And Beast Mastery Hunters will be nerfed. Frost and Fire Mages will be buffed. Mistweaver Monks will be nerfed, and Windwalker Monks will be buffed. Retribution Paladins will be slightly nerfed, and Protection Paladins will be buffed. Discipline Priests will be nerfed, and Holy will be buffed slightly. Outlaw and Subtlety Rogues will be nerfed. And finally, Arms Warriors have been nerfed, whilst Fury and Protection Warriors have been buffed. In these tweaks, we're also going to see Potion of the Old War and Potion of Deadly Grace, the two main damage-dealing potions, reduced in potency. They were initially too powerful to counteract a bug that existed with them, but now that the bug has been dealt with, they'll be returning to their original power level. To round this all out, WoW devs on Twitter posted, note, tuning hotfixes aren't final. We're still discussing the changes, especially to Havoc and Shadow, and following constructive discussions. So if you have something constructive to say, let your voice be heard on some of the threads on the WoW forums. So those are the big pieces of the news for the day. I look forward to seeing how this is all going to affect things. Moving on to the daily tip. So today's daily tip will once again be about WeakAuras. I know I've talked about this add-on a lot, but stay with me here. This is perhaps the best and ultimate tip for it. In the latest update, the templates option has been added. This will let you open up WeakAuras and create a new aura in whatever style you want, and then let most of the logic and the finicky technical stuff be handled by the add-on itself. It's really great for newcomers. So let's say that I wanted to create a bar to track the cooldown of Shadow Blades, which is the Subtlety Rogue cooldown. I would just make a template, choose Progress Bar, choose one of the different options, choose cooldowns, and then select Shadow Blades. That's it, nice and simple. It's definitely worth giving this a shot if you're struggling to create WeakAuras. It's very much worth it, so I would definitely suggest trying that out. Moving on to the screenshot of the day. This is something cool, pretty, or interesting. Send in screenshots via twitter.com/Tuskeh or mail them to me. Today's screenshot is from Wolf536 on Twitter, who posted, I was sitting AFK in my order hall and thought this looks nice. Turns out I caught the lightning in the sky as well. I really love this screenshot because of the colors. The colors of the Heart of Azeroth are really awesome. You've got the oranges and the grays mixing with the blues and lighter greens of the sky, and it's just, the whole place is hugely colorful, and that combined with the amazing Doomhammer and the blue wolf in the center It all comes together to create a really nice screenshot. I love it. So that's the screenshot of the day. Again, you can send in screenshots via twitter.com/Tuskeh or simply mail them to me. Now for the Q&A. You can send in questions via twitter.com/Tuskeh, you can email them to me, or simply leave them in comments on Tea Time videos. So Synapsenfic asks, when playing Outlaw, what do you think is better? Use Roll the Bones until you have at least 2 buffs, even if it takes 3 or 4 rolls and your DPS plummets into the ground, or stick with what you've got, even if it's a rather bad single buff. Do you change rotation when you get a certain buff? Right, so this is really tricky, and I've seen a lot of rogues struggling with this and trying to figure out when to best stick with their buffs. The truth is that it depends on the situation. There are plenty of times where I've stuck with just a single buff, and plenty of times where I've re-rolled heavily. It all depends on the situation. So if you're in a situation where enemies are dying quickly, like say you're in a dungeon that isn't super high mythic plus, or you're near the end of a boss encounter and you just want to kill him, you'll likely want to stick with one buff and just start running through, and roll when you have nothing to kill, like say in between trash pulls in a dungeon, or when there isn't too much going on, or you're running in between ads or something like that in a raid fight. It's very tricky, and honestly I can't give you like a rule here, but generally if I get a critical strike or a cooldown reduction roll, I tend to stick with it, and I never re-roll when using Curse of the Dreadblades, as the damage you can get out of repeatedly using run-through is just so high. I know that isn't a comprehensive answer, but really it's the best I can do. It's all about your own intuition. You need to just figure this out on your own, and generally remember that Roll the Bones is going to give you damage in the future if you roll well, and Run Through is damage right now, so consider which one of those you want in any given situation. So on the pull, you're going to want damage right now because all of your trinkets and all of your cooldowns are up, and then when things are kind of slowing down, you're going to want damage in the future, and then as a priority ad comes up, or the boss is about to die, you want damage right now. The second question is more of a correction. So Fiddle points out, I noticed that your WeakAura that keeps track of Roll the Bones wasn't in the paste bin last video. Do you think you could link that one too? Oops. Yeah, that's in the description. Sorry. And finally, Magic Monkey asks, hey Tuskeh, I used to be a hardcore PvPer, but in Legion I really want to start raiding, but I don't know how to find a raiding guild. Can you help me with some advice? I can. I have a whole video's worth of it. You can find a link to that in the description. I know that's not the most amazing of final questions, but I'm not going to repeat a whole video here. So that will conclude the Q&A. Again, send in questions via twitter.com/Tuskeh, email them to me, or simply leave them in the comments. To round up today's show, let's listen to a piece of music in the Opera House. So today's piece of music will be from The Cataclysm, specifically from the Elemental Bonds quest chain. Now, if you haven't done this, you really should. Head to Nordrassil when you get some time, and speak to Thrall near the edge of the lake. He'll start a rather epic quest chain that will show you how he becomes the world shaman that saves the day at the end of the Cataclysm expansion. Part of the chain involves saving Thrall from the elements, and this particular piece plays when you're saving him from the forces of air, preying upon Thrall's doubt. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions for the show, any thoughts, comments, or suggestions, you can contact me using the links in the description, or you can just leave a comment. If you want to help support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon page in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in the World of Warcraft.